What it is, guys, it's your boy icjosh, and for this episode of Naruto Shippuden, we see that at the beginning we do get a new opening, not the same opening that we kind of get, but the same music. So the whole animations have kind of changed. They put parts in, and I like how they put in Indra and Ashura in there, and basically everybody else, Minato and everything. They put all these people in there. And it's nice to get the refreshness that they're really, working on a lot more stuff. And basically showing us that, hey, this is really the end, without giving a lot of things away. But for this episode, we see that Indra, Taizo, and Kana go in and are basically looking at the sap of the divine tree. And the good thing about this that we actually see is that we know the reasons why a lot of things is happening, from last week, where we see that people were sick and it was kind of yeah, the divine tree was causing it, but how was it really causing it? And it's basically infecting their environment. So basically the sap has contaminated everything. So if they try to grow fruits and vegetables, it's already contaminated. If they drink from this water that the divine trees basically gave them, contaminated. And we also see that Ashura is kind of just we could take out the tree, but it's going to be up to the villagers if they want to go that route, and I don't want to be the dick that just comes in and takes away what is working for them. So they go and ask the villager, the elder of this village, and he already knows. He's like, yeah, the divine tree, I've already known that it's basically contaminated everything. Then he goes on and explains that, well, where they came from before the divine tree and this whole land being so fertile was that it was basically a barren wasteland and there was nothing there. They even dig for water, couldn't find water, and it was just everybody was dying of starvation and dehydration, and it was really rough. So basically the divine tree kind of saved them, but yet gave them the curse of, hey, I'm going to give you life and give you all this nutrition, but then you're going to die from it. Now the other thing is that we see that Indra is already done. We see that where he was just sitting there in front of the piece of the divine tree and basically hey, if you're not gonna make your decisions yourself, I will do it for you. And he arrives back pretty early. I want to say maybe around a couple months that he's just been out, done it, and came home. We even see that Hagoromo is kind of okay, you did what you needed to do in this village, and he's like, yeah, I did it. Where's Ashura? I don't know if he was kind of being sincere about where's Ashura, or if he was being more I guess douchey to being yeah, where's Ashura? I've already done this. But we see that he says that, and then he's just well, I'll wait for your brother to get back, because I'm not going to go ahead and name successor just because you came here early and you got it done faster. I'm not going to name the successor. So we see that back on Ashura's side, he started to dig a well. He's like, you know what, the villagers need this, and I'm not going to give up. So he starts digging a well, and he's been digging it for a while, him and Taizo. And Kana's kind of been looking around, and then I guess she might have persuaded the villagers to actually come and help, but they do. And we see that Ashura is kind of been asked to really, can you teach us Nenshi? And he does. So basically we see that he's going on that same path as Hagoromo, the first sage of six paths. We see that is how that is going. And at the same time, it's kind of just we have one brother that's already, excelled, and then we have the other brothers basically taking those father's footsteps. We kind of already know where this is going to go. So they end up finding water and basically, cutting down and destroying this root of the divine tree. He comes home and everybody's like, oh, Ashura's here, Ashura's home, after a year. But in this wait, we see that Indra, and he has two friends that he trains with, and they basically say, hey, no matter what happens, we're gonna follow you. And Indra is like, I appreciate your words and I'll take that in consideration, thank you, this type of thing. We end off this episode with
Hagoromo basically saying, I will, choose my successor now. And I gotta say that for this episode was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It flowed through, even though we didn't get the amount of, I guess you could say, action or whatever it was, but the storytelling and what it did and set up flowed amazing. I will say that this is probably 8 out of 10, so if you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. I'll probably put a link in the description below to like animeshow.tv or something like that you guys can go watch it at. Now, the preview, what we're here for. This next week is about to fucking go down. We see that Indra's face, whenever Hagoromo names off his successor, Ashura is completely shocked. So by this point in time, I guess it's safe to say that Ashura has been named the successor because he's more like, Hagoromo. He's got that leader ability, but he just hasn't fully reached it yet, and he's got the talent to do it as well. But the one thing that I'm super excited to see for next week, and I know you guys are there with me with this one, but it is Indra. Indra kills his best friends. I'm pretty sure that's the two that were sitting there that he killed to unlock his Mangekyo Sharingan. And I'm pretty positive that Black Zetsu is probably going to be the one that leads him up to that. It's probably going to be like, hey, if you want more power, I told you how to unlock your Sharingan. So if you want that to be even reached fuller, I got you. I'm really, really excited to see how that's going to go. I'm pretty sure that the fighting, like we see there, is going to start. We see that there's this black kind of aura that looks like I think a Susanoo is what it looks like. And I'm pretty excited to see this, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you're hyped for next week's episode. Let me know how you felt about this week's episode. If you felt it was okay, if you felt it deserved an 8 or not, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, like the video if you enjoyed, and also share the video out with everybody, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm super excited for next week. I'm going to be in the comment section below, so go ahead and comment. I'm out. Peace.
All those gifts that you got, not to touch them. If you're still rocking out with me right now,
let's go ahead
well, guess
and click
what?
this. I ain't even looking.
Touch them.